Love songs, straight from the heart at Siesta Musica.
I'd be a fool if I couldn't see. Baby, kung mahal ka niyan talaga.
Who broke your heart and made you write that song?
Your greatest love songs, all the way from 2 to 4 every Saturday at Siesta Musica. Join Dream Car the Announcer at Siesta Musica every Saturday from 2 to 4 in the afternoon dito sa inyong nag-iisang himpilan, Cool FM. Mapapakool ka dito!
Lahat ng drama, lahat ng tawanan, lahat ng iyong all-time hits. Ang tanging huntahan ng Masang Lamaw. #1 sa Mega Manila, nationwide pa. Broadcasting from TGON, TVH Group of Networks. Dito lang sa inyong iisang himpilan. You are listening to Cool FM, live from Cool Studios. This is koolNews at 6.
Good evening, and this is koolNews at 6. I'm Cairo. Police arrested an alleged gun runner in the bypass operation on Tuesday, September 10 in Calamba City, Laguna Province. The Region 4A police reported that Neil was nabbed at 12:33 a.m. in Barangay Palo Alto after he offered an auto-community caliber .38 revolver loaded with 6 bullets to a police agent posing as a buyer for 1,000 pesos. The policeman also found the suspect carrying a hand grenade. The police are investigating further to identify the source of the gun and the explosive. They would subject the confiscated firearm to pulse stick and cross-matching examinations to determine if these were used in past crime incidents. The suspected gun runner was detained and will face a charge of illegal possession of a firearm under the Comprehensive Firearms and Ammunition Regulation Act. The Chinese national who helped dismiss Bongbong Mayor Alice Guo, or Guo Huaping, whose Alice Guo's real name escaped from Philippine jurisdiction, is the boss of all bosses of Philippine offshore gaming operators according to Senate President Damproy Jingo Estrada. In the press conference on Tuesday, Estrada told reporters that the Pogo boss has fled to Philippines and is now in Taiwan. Asked to describe the Chinese national, Estrada said,
he is a foreigner. He is a Chinese national, and allegedly, based from the reports that I have received, he fled the country and he is now in Taiwan. I heard that he is the boss of all the bosses of Pogo. If you remember, ang sabi ni Alice Go, yun daw nag-facilitate nung kanyang pagtakas. Sinabihan daw niya ng hindi magandang salita. So I asked her, kung sinabihan mo siya ng hindi magandang salita, bakit siya nagpatakas sa'yo? Bakit siya nagpahiram ng yati sa'yo? So ang aking conclusion doon, malamang siguro, kaya siguro itinaka si Alice Go papunta sa ibang bansa, baka ikanta niya ito nag-facilitate ng kanyang pagtakas. Bigay ko na lang kay Senator Risa yung freedom para siya na siguro maglabas ng pangalan because I am not the chairman of the Committee on Women.
Meanwhile, President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. has declared Wednesday, September 11, which is tomorrow, a non-working day in the province of Ilos Norte to commemorate the 107th birthday of his father, the late President Ferdinand Marcos Sr. In Proclamation number 671, signed by Executive Secretary Lucas Persamin last August 29, The president recognized that the people of Ilocos Norte must be given full opportunity to participate in the occasion and enjoy the celebration. It is but fitting and proper that the people of the province of Bulacan be given full opportunity to participate in the occasion and enjoy the celebration, the proclamation read. I, Lucas Versamin, Executive Secretary Paratory of the President, Ferdinand Marcos Jr., do hereby declare Wednesday, 11th of September 2024, a special non-working day in the province of Ilocos Norte, it added. President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. on Tuesday handed 150 million pesos to the Philippine Children's Medical Center to boost cancer care treatment for kids. Marcos turned over the donation during the celebration of Childhood Cancer Awareness Month at the PCMC in Quezon City. As early cancer diagnosis and prevention of treatment delays can significantly improve the quality of life for children with cancer, a precise diagnosis is crucial, said Marcos in a speech. That is why an additional 150 million pesos shall be given by the Office of the President, which we just handed over to the PCMC for further equipment upgrading, he added. Marcos then recognized the strength of cancer-stricken children, saying their laughter and courage despite the pain they are going through are the true meaning of strength. We come here thinking that we need to be strong for them, but in reality, it is their strength that lifts us. It is in their laughter despite the pain. It is the courage that reminds us what it means to be human, he added. Marcos then emphasized the PCMC's role in serving as a sanitary, not just for treatment, but for the children to realize their full potential despite their medical conditions. A total of 288 volcano tectonic or VT earthquakes were recorded at Mountain Canlaon since midnight Tuesday, September 10, according to the Philippine Institute of Volcanology and Seismology. It is 11 a.m. report. Philfox said these earthquakes occurred at depths of between 0 to 9 kilometers beneath the northeastern flanks of the volcano. The strongest events were felt at intensity 2 in some villages of Canlaon City, Negros Oriental. Some residents of Bago City reported rumbling sounds, while those in a few villages in Bago, La Carlota, and Canlaon cities reported strong sulfur flames. VD earthquakes are caused by rock fracturing processes, and the increase in VD activity suggests progressive rock fracturing beneath the volcano as rising magma rises towards the surface. Philfox has reminded the public that Alert Level 2, which is increasing unrest, is in effect for Mountain Canlaon. The current seismic activity may lead to eruptive unrest and an increase in the alert level. The public is strongly advised to be ready and vigilant and avoid entering the 4-kilometer radius permanent danger zone to minimize risk from volcanic hazards such as pyroclastic, density currents, ballistic projectiles, rockfall, and others. In case of ashfall events that may affect communities downwind of Canlaon's crater, people should cover the nose and mouth with a damp, clean cloth or dust mask, Philfox said. Civil aviation authorities have been asked to advise pilots to avoid flying close to the volcano summit as ash and ballistic fragments from sudden eruption can be hazardous to aircraft. Communities living beside river systems on the southern and western slopes, especially those that have already experienced harsh and muddy stream flows, were advised to take precautionary measures when heavy rainfall over the volcano has been forecast or has begun. Two senators rejected on Tuesday requests and appeals from Alice Schools Camp to convene the chamber in an executive session rather than a public hearing when discussing her alleged ties to Philippine offshore gaming operators. In a statement, Senator Risa Hontiveros, who heads the chamber's panel on women, said her committee has not seen any reason to believe that the dismissed Baba Mayor, whose real name is Guo Huaping, would provide them reliable information that would merit them to grant an executive session. She can't even admit that she is a Chinese national born in China, even though we have shown her evidence proving such. It's insulting that she's still insisting on her Filipino citizenship, said Hontiveros. If she cannot even tell the truth about her identity, why should we believe everything else that comes out of her mouth? She should be truthful in the next hearing, and we might believe her that she would be truthful in an executive session, she added. In a separate statement also issued Tuesday, Senate President pro tempore Jingo Estrada echoed the same concerns raised by Hontiveros. What difference does it make if she disclosed in an open session as against a proceeding conducted behind closed doors? Guo testified falsely before us, telling us a tall tale about her circumstances and particularly everything we asked her in the previous Senate hearings. What assures that she will be open, truthful, and cooperative this time, he pointed out. According to Estrada, granting the request of Guo's camp could undermine the principle of transparency and public accountability in Senate investigations. He then warned that it could foster secrecy and erode public trust in the Senate proceedings. Personally, the only thing that could convince me to conduct an executive session is when she could provide considerate proof of the existence of threats to her life, said Estrada. During the Senate Monday hearing, Guo repeatedly opted not to answer Senate queries raised by. She kept on requesting for an executive session, noting that she cannot divulge in public the information being requested. It is now 6:10 in the evening, and stick around. Cool News at 6 will be right back.
Si Camille,
Welcome back. Direct flights between the Philippines and France will be available starting December 8, said the Department of Transportation on Tuesday. Transport Secretary Jimmy Bautista announced in a palace briefing that these direct flights represent the first direct connection between the Philippines and Europe since the COVID-19 pandemic. It was agreed upon following the signing of an agreement to expand the technical cooperation on aviation safety between the Philippines and France. I think this is quite an important one. I think it's an announcement that will make Filipinos happy because they will be able to fly non-stop from the Philippines to Paris and from Paris to the Philippines, said Bautista. According to General Manager of Air France KLM for Southeast Asia and Oceania, Meke Karose, the flights will begin on December 8 and flights will be available 3 days a week, Tuesday, Thursday, and Sunday. The flights will also be complementary with Air France's existing service with the KLM Royal Dutch Airlines, which operates 4 times weekly on Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and Saturday. So combined, Air France and KLM, we will be offering daily service as per that date. We also offer very convenient night flights, so you'll be arriving very early in the city of Paris to have a full day to explore, said Corose. The flight time will take approximately 14 hours. Meanwhile, French Ambassador to the Philippines, Marie Fontanelle, tagged the opening of the direct flights as a real Christmas present, as it opens in December and is in line with the reopening of Notre Dame in Paris. The direct non-stop service between the Philippines and France will most likely put trade tourism exchanges between our two countries and more generally with the European Union, said Fontanelle. In terms of tourism, of course, with the connection of the two air hubs of Charles de Gaulle Airport in Paris and Ninoy Aquino International Airport here in Manila, consolidating the role of France and the Philippines as a gateway to Europe and Southeast Asia in terms of trade at a time when negotiations on a free trade agreement are resuming with the European Union, she added. These direct flights are also seen to improve direct investments, removing a psychological barrier to trade and boosting the interest of French and European investors in the particularly dynamic Philippine market. Okay, so looks like our technical accounts for outputting the technical playout is unfortunately experiencing some technical difficulties. I'm not sure what's going on right now today. Wonder what. Okay, technical. Okay, there we go. Can you? Okay, it works. All right, nice. Okay, all right. Let's get into the headlines from around the world now. Each year, 25 million babies are born in India, the world's most populous nation, but for desperate, childless couples wanting to be parents, prayers and a scared Hindu will offer hope. We just hope that God blesses us, said 30-year-old Rita Vishwakarma on pilgrimage with her husband Deepak to an ancient Lolark Kun well in India's holy city of Varanasi. Married for 8 years, the couple has suffered the trauma of repeated stillbirths or their babies dying days after being born. Varanasi is better known for where Hindus come to die to have their bodies cremated on the banks of the Ganges, believing that it will ensure liberation from the cycle of rebirth. But it is also a site where people pray for new life. Fertility rites at Lolark Kun will have taken place for centuries, and celebrations peak during this week's festival of Lolark Shasti. Thousands of couples and devotees from all over the country gather at the ancient well, climbing down steep steps into the dark waters to bath. Vishwakarma said her sister had 2 daughters after praying at the well. If it worked for my sister, there are chances it could work for us too, she said, having traveled 1,500 kilometers or over 900 miles from the southern state of Goa. The hunt in India for a man who allegedly poured hot coffee on the baby has turned international after it was found that the man had fled the country on August 31, 4 days after the attack. The ambush on August 27 left the baby with severe burns to his chin, neck, chest, and back after the man through scalding hot coffee over the 9-month-old baby who was with his mother at Howlon Park in Brisbane, Queensland. The man, clad in a black hat, glasses, a shirt, and shorts, then fled the scene. According to CNN, Queensland Police Detective Inspector Paul Dalton said on September 9 that police are working with international parties to track down the man who has been identified as a 23-year-old foreign national. It was found that the man had driven by car across the Queensland border to New South Wales before fleeing by plane from Sydney Airport to an undisclosed location. Inspector Dalton said that early investigations were hampered by false information about the man's name, reported CNN. It wasn't until September 1st that we were able to put a name to the face in the CCTV. I was in the investigation center when we put our name to the face, and it was a very happy room, only for us to do a check in 50 minutes and found out we lost him. The man had flown out from Sydney just 12 hours before police could confirm his identity. The man had also reportedly conducted his own surveillance of the police investigation. It soon became apparent to us that this person was aware of police methodologies, was certainly conducting counter-surveillance activities, which made the investigation quite complex, as if Dalton was quoted as saying by CNN. The man whose Isabel Dalton called an itinerant worker had repeatedly entered Australia on various visas since 2019. He last entered the country in January 2022. The man's motive has yet to be identified. Isabel Dalton said police are withholding the suspect's name and the country he had fled to so as not to jeopardize their investigation. BBC reported that Queensland Police Service has issued an arrest warrant for the man for acts intended to cause grievous bodily harm. The charge carries a possible life sentence. The body has undergone multiple skin graft operations for his burn, and the GoFundMe page for him has reportedly raised more than 150,000 Australian dollars or 130,400 Singaporean dollars so far. Immediately after the attack, an off-duty nurse took the baby back to her home nearby and ran his birth under cold water. He was then taken to Queensland Children's Hospital. The baby's parents said they were devastated to hear that the man had fled. It sounds like they were very, very close in catching him, and this obviously means that we're going to have to wait who knows how long to get justice for our son, the mother was quoted as saying by Australian Broadcasting Corporation. I felt relieved that he's not in this country in some sense, but I always have fear and anxiety being out in public with my son. The baby's recovery will take years, said his father. And let's get into the showbiz happenings now, as Willie William warned against crooks preying on Will to Win, contestants seeking to join his game show after recognizing a previous participant who turned out to have been victimized by racketeers just outside the studio. Will to Win broadcasts live outside the TV5 headquarters in Maladunyong City and usually invites his game show contestants to join as live audience. On its September 2 episode, William recognized an audience member wearing a cap and green t-shirt who previously joined another segment, Cookie to Win. Hey, you are already here. She watched the show in the studio before. She joined us at one. Let's be real. Tell me the truth. Ramila said as he helped the contestant to stand beside him. The contestant narrated that while she won in the game segment, the person who recruited her to join in the studio took her 2,000 pesos winning, leaving her with nothing but a jacket that was given to her by the host. He told me to go inside to join and play, she shared. When asked by Revealamim if she remembered the person who asked her to join, she admitted that she didn't remember the person anymore. You have to tell us, look at her, she did not get her money. There are so many crooks outside. Security here should be tightened, the TV host said. There are a lot of unscrupulous people out there. They're making a fool out of you, which puts you all in danger. Just like her, she already won. They are asked outside the studio to join for a fee, then they would enter the studio. If they win, they would take your money, so never give in to them. Don't allow their group to multiply, he said. Revealman also took issue with vendors selling game show wares outside the studio when he asked another contestant if she brought her head outside. That's 50 pesos. There are so many fraudsters outside, you just don't know. You run your uniform shirts for 150 pesos. Just beware of adcocks. You might catch it since they don't wash their shirts, so you don't need to rent. You may just use your office uniforms. He said, referring to the latest health scare in the country. Even though he didn't allow the audience member to join, Revealman said he nonetheless understands where she was coming from, while reminding the public to be aware of such incidents happening outside the studio. And that is it for koolNews at 6. As always, if you have any news suggestions or feedback that you would like to share, you can get in touch with us at tvh.philippines.news@gmail.com. Until then, I'm Cairo, and we'll see you later for more news headlines with koolNews Prime Time at 9. Good evening.